So you want to become a pilot for the Blue Angels. Traveling from airshow to airshow, flying just 18 inches apart from your buddies in a fighter jet, and creating supersonic booms 50 feet from the ground. What are the requirements to even apply? Step 1. You must first commission as a Navy officer. There are 3 major ways of becoming a Navy officer. They are graduating from the US Naval Academy, completing an NROTC program, or finishing Officer Candidate School, which requires a 4-year college degree to get into. There's also a 4th and a smaller program called STA 21, where current enlisted members of the Navy can apply for a commission. Step 2. Get into flight school. Before you're offered a flight training spot as a newly commissioned officer, all prospective trainees have to take a standardized test called ASTB. That's right, you're not done with standardized tests yet just because you got into college. Those commissioning from the Academy or NROTC take the ASTB before graduating to vie for a spot in flight training. However, they only find out if they're selected towards the end of their commissioning process. On the other hand, those commissioning from OCS were selected specifically for flight training, so they took the ASTB before joining the Navy, and they knew going in that they'd be offered a spot in flight training upon commissioning. Step 3. Don't wash out of flight school. After acing the standardized test, passing the rigorous flight physical, and being picked to attend flight training, you're now one step closer to becoming a Blue Angels pilot. And you better work hard at flight school because 30% of all those who started never made it to the other end. And it all began in so-called Cradle of Naval Aviation, Pensacola, Florida. Initial training starts with classroom lessons on basic aeronautical knowledge, like weather, aerodynamics, and aircraft systems. And then you move on to 7 flights in a Cessna 172, concluding with a check ride. That's right, even future Blue Angel pilots start their training in the trusty 172. After that, the real fun starts. You move on to primary flight training in the T6V Texan II, an 1100 horsepower turboprop aerobatics trainer after just 7 flights in the 180 horsepower Cessna. And you better perform well in this training too, because at the conclusion of primary training is when the Navy tells you what type of airplane you're going to fly. And if you get told to fly helicopters, becoming a Blue Angel will be difficult for you, as they don't fly helicopters. So aim to be the top of your class so you get your first pick of the strike pipeline, which graduates pilots to fly in the F-18 among other tailhook jets. After completing the advanced strike training and getting your wings of gold as a naval aviator, you're then sent to a fleet replacement squadron to finally learn how to fly the F-18. Upon completing a tour of duty as a Super Hornet pilot and accumulating more than 1,250 hours in the cockpit, with your commander's blessing, you can now finally apply to be part of the Blue Angels. The application process is long and comprehensive, and rightfully so. The Blue Angels spend 2 to 3 years of their life working very closely with their teammates and trusting them with their life every flight, as well as represent the US Navy to the general public. Serious applicants show up to 2 to 3 airshows on their own dime to get a feel for what life is like as a Blue Angels pilot. During an airshow, you attend pre-flight briefings to get to know the current team and for the current team to get to know you. You're also expected to attend community events Blue Angels go to practice interacting with the public. As part of the getting to know you process, you have to tell a joke before the day's briefing starts. And when you leave the airshow after Sunday's flight, hope that you've made a good enough impression to be invited back. You're asked to come back for a final round of interviews that last 1 week long. And after all the interviews are conducted, the current team then votes in secret and unanimously decides the next group of Blue Angel pilots. If you're invited to become a Blue Angel, you're now part of a group that is more exclusive than NASA astronauts. In summary, to become a Blue Angel, you first need to become a Navy officer, score high enough on the ASTB for a flight training spot, graduate the top of your class out of primary training so you can select jets, select F-18s out of advanced strike training, complete a tour of duty as a fighter pilot, accumulate over 1,250 hours in a tactical jet, be likable and sociable enough to be picked as the next Blue Angel pilot. Alright, and that's how you become a Blue Angel. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks!